Hey guys, so I do want to say that this video, I started it off in Barbados. After reviewing the video, I felt like I needed to really edit some things and actually go over it because I went off topic completely. So first part would be in Barbados, second part would be here with this scenery. City of Manhattan, right? So yeah, I'm gonna get to it though. Hey guys, I'm Lexi and I'm back with another video. Nah, so this video will just be mosquito bite. We'll just be talking about how I'm toxic, you know? So one way I found out I was toxic was being in a relationship and allowing things to happen that should have never happened in the first place, right? So what I tend to do is I tend to victimize people, and like if they're come to me with a situation, I'm automatically like, well, if they didn't handle you a certain way, you would have never reacted like that. If they didn't do this, you would have never did that. Da, da, da. And yes, that is true, but you need to hold yourself accountable for whatever it is that you do and how you react to certain things, because that's what you can control. You can't control. Sorry, there's a mosquito flying around and he already got me. So you have to hold yourself accountable for things. And it's crazy because I always hold myself accountable for things. I don't think I'm a victim. I thought I was a victim, but it was just like, listen, you're your own person. You could definitely maneuver however it is that way, like however it is you want to maneuver. So it's only you who's necessarily holding yourself back, right? But when it came to other people, I wouldn't, excuse my nail, but it came off. But when it came to other people, I would just victimize them. Like, no, if they didn't handle you a certain way, then you would have never did what you did. But all in all, you have control and you don't have to react, because if you have peace within and you're confident in yourself and you know what's right from wrong, and you take into consideration like people who just don't know any better, you know, who've been traumatized or just wasn't taught well, you know, are knowledgeable to certain things. So I do that a lot, you know, did that a lot. I'm stepping out of that, setting boundaries, and I'm holding people accountable whether they like it or not. You know, I'm going to hold you accountable for whatever it is that you did, you know, as well as holding myself accountable. That's why I'm trying to work on myself spiritually, mentally, physically, just so I can be fit to be able to even endure certain things that come my way. You get what I'm saying? Like, just to remain calm. And it's just like, listen, to have compassion and to really know that there's something wrong with that person and they need help. And that's what it is, you know? So that was one thing that allowed me to be toxic, because this would create a reoccurring pattern with certain things. And I would have an issue because those patterns was just like very important to me, you know? And when you don't take accountability, you don't grow. So you're gonna remain in that position, in that place where you're at. And it took a toll on my relationship and me thinking that it was them not wanting to do whatever it is that they had to do. But yes, that was it as well. Look, they call me again. But it was also me being their significant other. I'm allowing that to happen, you know, because I feel bad. You heard the rooster? But and it's just like, you're allowed to feel bad, you're allowed to feel however it is that you feel, but realistically thinking, realistically speaking, shit happens and you have to make the best of it. I did. And I was just so confused as to why, like, yo, you guys see me like hustling and motivated and determined to do certain things, but yet you guys are not, you know, not following and pulling your own weight. So it was just like, you're mommying them, you're being like, you're babying them, they're not your sons. And it was crazy, like, it was crazy. But that was one. What the but anyway, that was one. Another thing, I wouldn't set boundaries for myself, which allowed people to remain toxic, right? And things like that, like, it was all me, right? It was all me. But I would always blame it on them. So I would put the blame on them instead of putting the blame on myself, because it was me who allowed certain things to happen instead of setting boundaries. That's why, right, like, I'm so big on setting boundaries, and I promote it to the fullest. And if they don't like you for setting boundaries, then it is what it is. Move on. Do whatever it is that you feel like you need to do. What the hell? But yeah. So, yeah. Also, directing the blame to other people and not blaming myself, because I allowed it to happen. Yeah, it sucks, because when you realize that you're not helping somebody grow and you're actually, you know, stopping their growth, you kind of look at yourself like, what the fuck? Like, how could you not realize? But if you don't know any better, what can you do? So it was a learning experience. So in that being a learning experience, what do you do when you learn something? You do better. And in doing better, I decided to really think about what I was gonna say, what I was gonna do, and set boundaries for myself so that people know that I am not one to all right. Another toxic trait that just kind of blew everything out the water was having narcissistic behavior. Yes. So what I realized is that when I do not get my way, or when you do not agree with things, that is not a no for me. It is a no for you. I still get it done, right? But in the process of doing that, I make you feel as if what you're doing or saying isn't enough or isn't up to par with what I'm doing or I'm saying, right? So I had to get out of that, because I always promote 1 + 4 is 5, but so is 2 and 3. So just because you guys don't have the same game plan doesn't mean the end goal is not the same. Right. So another thing I used to do would be having people chase me, right? So because I felt like I was always chasing other people, I became the person Who hurt me? Test. Don't do that. You're only hurting yourself, right? So I didn't want you if you wasn't chasing me. I didn't want you if I felt like I liked you more than you liked me. And that only got me into losing time, wasting time, I should say, breaking people's hearts. And you feel real shitty. If you have a heart, you feel real shitty. And I couldn't feel like that no more. So, if I wasn't feeling you, I would make it known. You know, if I was intrigued by you from the beginning and then slowly it died down, I would make it known. So, like, I would really speak on certain things. Or if I felt like I was just bored or I didn't have anything to do and just needed company, like, I wouldn't just call anybody, you feel me? Or just, not to say I called anybody, but I wouldn't just chill with the people who were available to me, right? The people I know that I could always turn to. So, that was very narcissistic of me. Also, as much as I would hate for someone to make me feel as if I was the crazy one, when all in all, it was them. I mean, I said that wrong. I would make people feel as if they were the crazy one, when all in all, it would be me just not wanting to deal with certain things. And I would react and put the blame on others, right? And that's not the way to go about it. At all. And learning some things about yourself that you do not like, especially if you know it's hurt people, you kind of feel shitty about yourself. But what I want you to know is, if you are working on bettering yourself, then just know that you're doing good. Like, you're on the right path, because some people don't even pinpoint that about themselves. So you just have to be, like, highly in tune with yourself. You have to realize that right is wrong, right is right, and wrong is wrong, no matter what. Like, you're not above anything, right? And just know that the past is in the past, and it does not affect your future. It only affects your future if you really did some dickhead shit and you're a felon and now you're trying to, like, go the legit way. I mean, but even then, there's ways to go about it, right? But, yeah. When you really get to know yourself and you really want to do better, and you really see that you have some traits that might have passed down and that you need to correct them, once you get to that level, can nothing and no one stop you at all. Because you know where your heart is, you know where your mind is, you know where you're going. And the amount of positive energy that you put into the universe, you're definitely and most likely will reap everything that comes your way, you know? And everything that you put out, you're gonna get back 10 times. I kid you not. Like, because in order to receive, you must give. That I do know. In order to receive, you must give. And there's no time limit. Something you did 10 years ago, you can pay for it right now. And don't ever quit. Don't ever quit working on yourself. Don't ever quit, telling people about themselves, especially if you know they're on a fucked up path. But just realize that everyone is human. Everyone's entitled to their emotions and feelings. But if it was in reverse, how would you want somebody to handle you? And that's how I think. I'm like, yo, if I was upset, I would want somebody to handle me like this. If, you know, I was sad, I would want somebody to handle me like this. So I always give off what I expect in return, especially when it comes to respect and how to treat people, you know. That's one thing about me that I always see the good in people, and sometimes it's messed up, but you seeing the good in people, that can help people see the good in themselves too. So I would never take that away from me. But yeah, those were just, you know, some things that made me kind of fucked up. But I got to know me, and I got to know and feel what was right for me. And I did what I had to do, and I made it happen. But yeah. So this view is not as popping as my Barbados view. But it's gang.